Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Burning Hammer Wrestling. Today's episode's a little late. These are our names down here. Check us out.
Yeah.
This is our names. Go over to w.gg, help us out over there. Use the promo code Clear Shots, 10% off, all that cool stuff. It supports the show. All right. Yeah, we're a little late, but yeah, usually the episode comes out at like noon on Friday.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we had a little bit of a scheduling issue, but it is what it is. With the other show, we didn't even put one out last week, so that's the first time we've missed it over like a year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah.
And with this, we were just talking. We're a year in, and we didn't miss an episode, thankfully.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, that is good.
It's like, it's funny. We only do it bi-weekly, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, we also have very busy lives, and this is clearly a passion project we do.
Yeah.
So, like, it's tricky, you know what I mean?
I wish we could do it every week. But
Me too, yeah. I really do, but what can you do?
schedules are all over the place, dude.
Yep.
Shift work schedules are not good
Swings,
to work
dude.
around. Yeah, that's not really
the
good
worst.
to work with. I don't, dude. I got like a low amount of notes this time.
It's okay. We don't have to do some fucking hour-long deal.
We can elaborate on a lot of it though.
Yeah, for sure.
The first thing I want to bring up, and I think probably the best match I've seen, well, easily the best match I've seen in the last 2 weeks, is the TLC match that was on.
Oh my
SmackDown.
God, dude.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous.
That was so insane. And like, so it was definitely one of the best TLCs I've ever seen on like Raw or SmackDown.
Undeniably.
Yeah,
it wasn't even
undeniably.
close.
Maybe the actual best I've ever seen.
On like a weekly show.
On a weekly show, non-pay-per-view. Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
and
like,
people were like, why wasn't this on WrestleMania? It's
yeah,
like,
ask the guys that too, you know? I love that though.
I kind of
that.
like that they saved
Yeah.
it though. Yeah.
Well, it's not only that. It's like all these guys everybody wants to show out for Mania. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to show up for Mania. So if you're not on the Mania card, these guys just told everybody how you do it anyways. You know?
Right.
They went, oh, you're a wrestler and you're up and coming and you didn't get booked on Mania. So then on that next SmackDown or Raw, put on a Mania level performance and make the bosses go,
Yeah, make them see it.
whoops, we fucked up. We should have had these guys on Mania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys did that so massively, dude.
Part of it too is like it goes to show the depth of their roster.
Oh, it's the deepest roster ever.
And I think another thing, a big topic of discussion was the releases.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's another sign of their roster. It's like you have a lot of talent, and these people that
I'm so glad you said that, because I totally agree. And I think I know where you're going with this, which is not to cut you off, but it's the fact that before, I feel like every generation of releases we would see, right?
Yeah.
You would see multiple names on there that you go, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, we never really saw them do anything. And in this one, there was a few people that for sure you'd go, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like this was one of the most talent-packed release things I've ever seen, because everybody is so good.
Yeah, and the problem is you just don't have room for it.
Yep. The fact that Braun Strowman got released makes me go, okay, I understand that
I
one.
do get
He's
that.
in his 40s. He's super beat up.
Yeah.
He's been working with a partially paralyzed leg, apparently, for a wicked long time.
Yeah,
On his way out, he did massive work to benefit and launch the careers of Jacob Fatu and of Bronson Reed or whatever. Right? Bronson Reed?
Yep.
Yeah. That dude.
Yeah,
he
did work with
got
him.
those guys on the path big time with huge, really well done performances from him.
Yeah, what's the deal with Bronson? Is he injured? He must be, because they were
from
building him up.
His ankles, remember, at the War Games. He did that splash off the top and fucked his leg
War
up.
Games fucked up a lot of people.
It always does. It's brutal match. It's like the Elimination Chamber. Every year I see it, I'm like, I love that match, but someone's getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know? Even if it's stuff you don't hear about, somebody's getting hurt. They're popping a rib or a shoulder or something and just figuring it out.
Yeah,
Everyone talks about it.
Yeah, there was a lot of injuries from that.
But the two big released people that made me be like, what? Was Dakota Kai and Shotzi.
Yeah.
And like, I get it. They're both recovering from injuries and stuff like that. But they're both so good. And especially Dakota Kai's been on TV nonstop.
It has to do with like damage control's like run its course already,
It has.
I think.
Yeah. And it's kind of shifted to where it's more about Kairi Sane, Asuka, and Io.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And I mean, Io's the world champ there, so.
Yep. And is doing her own thing. And Asuka's out on injury recovery.
Right. It's like, what
So
are you really going to
scary.
do with that faction right now?
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And I hope that all of the above, maybe not Braun Strowman. He has a special, he's his own thing because he's already done so much. He's already a multi-time world champ. He's already been a top guy. He's been in every position. He's been all over the place. He's done everything, right?
Yeah.
And he's already in his 40s and he's very injured. I'd like to see him end up just being like a company ambassador for way less money, but at least he's got a consistent paycheck. That's probably still good money, but it seemed like they keep cutting this guy deal for millions of dollars. And it's like, maybe pay him $1 million or something that's
just for the
more
role
under
that
the radar and he can just be something.
That's
but
the thing is you got to pay guys for the role
he might
that they're
just
in.
retire. He's made so much money.
He could.
And he's not stupid.
He
not
should.
stupid with
He
his money.
should just be done. Yeah.
I almost want to see him retire, and not because of anything negative. I loved Strowman, dude. I will openly say I loved Braun Strowman since the day he came in. I thought he was a breakaway. He proved me right. He had awesome squash match run. That his choke slam, his like reverse choke slam he did to the dude with no jaw.
Mhm.
What was his name?
The dude with no jaw.
You know who I'm talking. Everyone knows who I'm talking about. The guy with no jaw who was around for a while, and he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad, but he had no jaw. Like it was well known, and
What
they
the
played
fuck
off it,
was his name?
or no chin, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't remember his name. Anyways,
Why can't I remember that?
That dude was actually like massively outperformed and broke all expectations.
I've
People
never
thought he was just going to be some squash match local guy.
Yeah.
He ended up with the company for like a year or two
Mhm.
and was a manager and stuff. Yeah, liked that guy. Braun's selling to me, like when I went, yup, I'm obsessed with this guy, was the squash match he had with that guy
Mhm.
where he did the fucking back of the neck choke slam with his hand on his chest and then just flat out
That
like
is fucking
pancake,
hilarious.
dude. But Strowman ended up also exceeding expectations and having some majorly good matches, dude.
He's well, and I think a lot of it came from Vince like loving the big guys.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
where
for sure.
it all came from.
Yep.
But he was, he wasn't bad in the ring. He was a pretty good fucking performer.
Dude, he had a match, I think, on Raw with the Big Show years ago that was so good, and they both were like working.
That's tough to do.
And it was only because it was like those two guys are the only two guys that are big enough to do that type of match with each other.
Yeah. It's tough to do two big guys.
Yeah.
And
have it not be shit.
And be slow and like lethargic.
One of the best tall guys matches I've ever seen was Diesel and Taker at WrestleMania 12.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Taker was so good at
I mean, he could just work anybody. He could work a broomstick. He worked fucking El Gigante or whatever.
Well,
that's all you need to know.
I
He
think
might as well be a 7-foot tall broomstick.
he understood how to pace. He understood how to pace the match for his character too.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like working in character, he was just like unmatched at that.
Yeah.
And
couldn't agree more.
It's just a tough thing to do when you're both big like that.
When you're 6'10" up. It's like, which Strowman was what, like 6'9" or 6'7" or something like that?
Yeah. He's just a giant
absolutely huge guy. But yeah.
He's almost wider than he is tall, dude.
I would like to see him retire just purely out of the fact that I hope he's made millions of dollars over these years with WWE and was smart with his money financially. I'm assuming because the WWE system usually These days, people make money in WWE. They are shown how to handle their money. Like you could go ignore it and blow your money, but they're going, here's accountants that you have access to and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they supply a lot of that. Now, like I just watched Maven's video that we had just saw on here where he goes into AEW. Yeah. And somebody, I can't even remember now. Someone was talking to him about, he asked somebody about if they get their own hotel rooms and how they're actually paid for. Mm-hmm. And Maven's like, well, we used to have to pay for them.
Back in the day, yeah.
So it's like,
it's different now.
You now have like all these accommodations as a performer if you're working for these big companies.
Yeah,
and that's a big deal.
Companies, yes.
And you need to have agents. You have to have all these things in place. And I would assume, yes,
it's very expensive.
There's definitely, money management involved in that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not to say like you still can't screw that up yourself. Like you can still.
But that's my point is they could pay you millions of dollars and go, here's an accountant for you to talk to.
Yeah.
That's in-house. He'll help you with your finances. Here's our tax guy. Here's our our investor. And you could go, that's cool. I bought $1 million house and blew my whole year and I didn't pay taxes.
Check out my Maserati. Here's my
like NBA players.
Yeah. You know? Oh, NBA players are notoriously bad.
Some of the worst. But same with football guys too. But I get it. It's like
the NBA is flashy now and stuff anyway. Like that's kind of the NBA sucks.
And with the contracts they're getting, it's like the average guy's making like a bench warmer's making $10 million a year. It's so ridiculous.
Pro sports is fucking insane right now.
But anyways, back to the wrestling. Strowman hopefully made a ton of money and was smart with his money and invested, and he's set for life. Doesn't have to work ever again. I'm going to presume that based on the situation with him and the fact that he was released twice now over having too big of a number on his contract.
Right.
I wouldn't
say he's like,
in his 40s and he's injured. Dude, just take your quality of life.
Yeah.
Get in shape. Do whatever. You know what I mean? And enjoy it.
I wouldn't say he's like in bad shape. I would imagine that's the way I look at it.
A guy that big and that jacked, I don't want to see end up in a fucking wheelchair because he was like, I can't let it go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you see, like I said, I think you just have a lot of talent depth. And so you have, maybe if you don't have plans for somebody, you gotta like let them go.
Yeah.
And look, this has always been the case. There's always been post WrestleMania cuts.
Every
year.
Like
people are just like
it's
going.
Not a surprise.
Look, it's like fan favorites. Yeah, maybe they.
Sure. I loved Shotzi. I loved Dakota.
It's like I understand some of the people being upset about it, but you got to understand this always happens.
It's not the end of the world.
No,
they're gonna find jobs. They can both end up in TNA, and we see them back on NXT or some shit.
Right.
But they're just working with TNA.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you not want them?
Speaking of that, Elias was on.
How NXT. Fucking godly is that?
That was cool.
But it's better than cool because he came in as Elijah, which is his gimmick of the same gimmick, but with a different name outside of it in TNA.
Yeah, and then he still does.
They absolutely must have him bump in to Kevin Owens on WWE television at some point. Even if it's just on Netflix, it must take place. It's too funny because Owens was already pissed at him for the two personality thing when he was Elias and what was the other name? I can't remember it. When he shaved his beard and shit and was like, I'm not Elias, I'm his brother.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And Owens was like, bullshit! You are Elias. Yeah. Just say it. Like, stop. You got to have bump into him. And he's Elias again. And he's like, who's Elias? I'm Elijah.
Yeah. That would be actually awesome.
That'd be so good.
It is interesting that they use the TNA name.
Yeah. I love it.
Like,
good.
Why not? I guess.
It's why.
They've been a lot more lenient with having to own names and shit like that.
Yep. Love
but that it's great because you build the name in WWE and then you go somewhere, you could still use it.
Yep.
Theoretically, I don't know. Like it's like you could still have Sasha Banks in AEW versus Mercedes Moné. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's theoretical, I don't know if that's going to be the case.
I think they own Sasha.
They definitely own that. Yeah.
Well, having said that, like, okay, so another thing to talk about. It's current events. Paige.
Yeah.
She's not at AEW anymore. Everything's looking like she's about to come back to WWE.
I think it would be really cool to.
Yes. She needs to go in the Hall of Fame if she's not already. I can't remember if she's went in already.
She should.
If she doesn't, she goes in now. She has to be in yesterday.
Yeah, I think the cool connection there would be maybe like, so that Chemical X faction sort of broke up a little bit.
Yeah. They all got released, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, no, not all of them.
Oh, that's right.
I can't remember who did. Was it Julia or something? Somebody got released from them. Or was I can't even remember now. Let me look that up. Let me look up the releases because I don't remember all of them.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of NXT talent too that got released that were good up and comers. I was like waiting to see, you know.
Is it this? I guess maybe.
A couple people. Oh yeah, I forgot. Shayna Baszler got released too. She's another one that Paul Ellering is hilarious.
Yeah, we talked about them. Akam and Razor went. Cedric Alexander.
This is older. These are older cuts.
This is 2025. It says, but
it's incorrect.
It's not the recent ones.
Luke Gallows. Yes. Those two fuckers, bro. They are so funny. And I love them. And I know that they so don't care that they got released.
Yeah.
Because you could just tell in interviews with them and shit, they're just like, brother, we're together only. And we're just hopping and getting paychecks. We don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah,
there it is. Yep. Katana Chance, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai. Yep. Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Shotzi.
Shotzi bums me out, dude. She came up to the main roster, was in War Games 2 years ago, I think, and was fucking incredible and got injured, and it derailed her whole deal.
Well, what I was thinking of is Tatum Paxley. Maybe you could do something with that when Paige comes back, because they're sort of the same vibe. You could do a faction that, like, or tag team or something like that to elevate her, because Tatum Paxley's really good.
She is,
I think she needs to be in the picture here. I mean, really, like, you're not getting a lot of these NXT people moved lately. I mean, Roxanne's on the main roster now. But.
I think Roxanne, Stephanie Vakir, and Julia will be main roster real quick. They're already working on getting them all there.
Julia's great.
They're all three of those
Stephanie
women
is going to get a really big push.
She's going to be different. Like, in my mind, Stephanie, when she makes it to the main roster, it just seems so obvious she has main event level primary title feud written all over.
She's already got the aura of it. So.
Roxanne is also that good. She's ridiculous, dude. But anyways, they're going to move up and make room in NXT. And it's too dense of a roster.
This is what I mean.
They also have Jordan Grace, who's incredible.
Yeah. And look, meanwhile, you're trying to get like Jade Cargill into the main title picture.
There's just so much talent.
There's a lot. And
it's impossible to have stuff for that much good talent.
And it's like you already have you have a lot of WWE programming already. Yeah. So it's not like you can say like here's another show. It's like, no, you can't do that.
You just can't. There's already so much.
It's just too much.
There's only so much you can produce where it's gonna feel like it matters.
Yeah.
NXT, it took years to build to a point where people feel like it is the same, like it's borderline same level as SmackDown and Raw, brand wise.
Didn't someone just win the Speed title off of
I think you're right.
Who the fuck was that? It was a big name, or like a more.
It was Chad Gable, didn't he? Just win the Speed title.
El Grande Americano.
El Grande Americano. Yeah. Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool. I love that. That's great.
That you can tell there. It seems like right now they're serious about speed too. Going, we can do fucking 5-minute matches or 15-minute matches or whatever the fuck they are.
Yep.
Time limit on every match.
Well, so what do they do?
I think it's a cool idea.
They shoot that before Raw, or
I
Like
don't
main
know.
event or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they do. And then they just put it on X.
It's just on X. Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird.
It's
but
a
I
cool
guess,
idea.
Yeah, it is a cool idea. But they have Evolve. They have all these other things.
Evolve is like their new NXT, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well,
Like
yeah,
the
it's basically
OG one,
taken
like-
the place of what NXT was.
Was originally,
because
yeah.
NXT
Yep.
got bigger.
It's too good now, yeah.
I also have been watching LFG. I watched the whole thing actually up to
wow.
whatever it's out
current?
now.
Okay.
It's really good.
Shocker.
I like it a lot. It's not like Tough Enough in the way it's presented. And what I like about it too is it's not a reality show in the sense of like they're in a house together and there's all kind of drama.
It's just about the training and
it's
shit.
about who's getting better, and it shows all the matches pretty much in full. And meanwhile it's given
that's a lot different.
It's given you also hear like the coaches commentary and stuff like that, so you hear
Sure.
Taker and
Yep.
Bubba Ray. It's Booker
Yep.
T and then
Mickey James.
Mickey James.
Yep. Booker T, Bubba, and Taker.
Undertaker.
Yep.
Yep. And it's really good, dude. There's some guys on there that like you're like, oh shit, they could be something for sure.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting seeing the way these coaches approach it, because it's like Taker, like I feel like he's in the lead with the most points. You get points based on like who's you have a team of 4, so
Okay.
you have 2 men, 2 women,
Sure.
and then each coach has 4 people, and then at the end of the show they'll pick whoever was the best on that day. They like vote on whoever had the best performance.
Okay.
That team gets a point. So, and I think it's great, dude. The Taker like kind of approaches it. I love the way they all approach it though. Is like, if you're gonna start a wrestling promotion, who do I want? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of guys that even if you get kicked off the show, it's like you're still gonna be at the performance center,
And
getting better.
You're still on the move. You
Yeah,
know what
and
I
it's
mean?
like the only thing you get is the NXT contract, which who knows how much exposure you get from that. It depends.
But everybody's already getting so much exposure.
But everybody's already on. Yeah, it's like you're wrestling on LFG. You're on WWE TV already.
Yeah.
Just because you're on LFG.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I enjoy it probably as much as Tough Enough. I like Tough Enough too, though.
Tough
Tough Enough
was
ran
cool.
for a lot of seasons.
It did.
And that was a big thing. That's how Maven got big.
Yeah, he was the first winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
I looked through the list of all the Tough Enough winners, and there was a lot of them that were actually like
Pretty good.
big stars.
For sure.
So
Yeah,
it's interesting to
he was,
see this. I love watching this kind of stuff because then you're like, you almost have some like attachment to some of these people because you're like,
You watch their careers grow.
yeah, and you want them to do good.
That is what I find bums me out about Shotzi, because I also follow her on YouTube because she
Yeah.
does like ghost hunting and shit
Yeah.
with Scarlett and Karrion Kross.
Well, that's another thing we got to talk about.
Oh yeah, that
Karrion
might be
Kross
the biggest thing to talk about.
He has quietly like become massive.
He's top 5 guys in the industry right now.
Yeah.
Like in ring, on mic, character
Yep.
design, everything, and has been just sitting there. And I've been saying it forever. They've got to use this guy for anything other than the
It's
shit
only
they're
a matter
doing.
of time.
And
He
it's
is
a matter
right
of
now,
time.
I read today that
Yep.
he is the top selling in merch right now.
Yeah. Yep.
How
It's
crazy
crazy.
is that? And he's not
And
even
he
been.
wasn't on the Mania card in his hometown.
Right.
And he did that Josh Barnett Bloodsport instead.
Yep.
And cut like a 40-minute long documentary on his own dime,
Mhm.
his own guys, for YouTube. And I think that helped blow his ass wide open. He also went on what's his name? Sam Roberts, right?
Yeah.
He went on his show and
fucking
had
went off.
just a god tier promo.
Mhm.
And then fucking just walks out.
I think all of it was he definitely planned all this.
Yeah.
Because he knows at
he
this
took
point.
chicken shit,
Yeah.
which was not being on Mania in his hometown, which is shit.
Yeah. He said, "Look, I'm going to
And
film
went,
this
"Fuck that."
all this and I'm going to go on there and I'm just going to go off."
Yeah.
Like, it's just the only thing left to do. He has nothing to lose.
No.
And
he's instantly super over.
Mm-hmm.
He went on Raw and got interviewed by Kathy Kelly or whatever. Right? That's her name?
Yeah, that
Kathy
was
Kelly?
last week.
Is that her name? Kathy Kelly?
Yes. I know.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
But he got interviewed by her like up in the nosebleeds in the arena, and the crowd was going crazy for him.
Yeah.
It's not going to be hard for him to be a very believable top guy.
I promise it isn't going to take long either.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like LA Knight.
Yeah, it's not like
where he had to prove himself a lot first.
Yeah,
which I consider LA Knight to be one of the top guys.
I think this like right here is going to be, it's going to be a good example of the way like you can change the approach to the industry too. Like if you have your own YouTube channel and stuff like that, and you can build that on the side, that's huge.
Zack Ryder is just going, kill me.
Yeah.
I have to die. Yeah. Because he was the blueprint designer for that.
Yes.
Got himself mega nuclear over, the most over guy in wrestling at one point because of his hilarious shot YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon went, you got over without me? There's nothing you can do to make me give a fuck about you.
But Matt Cardona is just,
he's huge. He's the man.
Yeah. And he's doing totally fine.
Yep. Shotzi talked shit about him and was like, I'm fighting him in the indies. I'm going to be the indie queen. And he was like, we'll see about that. I love it. She's just poking him. I love that shit. And I hope she works a match with him on the indies. I hope they have a death match or some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not? Poke his eyes out and shit. Do dirty shit. I love that cheesy shit.
Yeah. That's, look, Zack Ryder had a decent career too.
He did.
As far as,
he had big moments and stuff. Yeah.
He had a good run.
He just didn't get to be used at the level I think he was capable of. I think the Zack Ryder character was the problem for me.
It could have been
the
way it held him back.
As Matt Cardona, now, if he comes in tomorrow, top guy.
Not
world champion instantly, but he's in that realm, that like
he's
Cody,
on like
Roman, Cena,
LA Knight tier.
LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. Like that's the thing too. You were mentioning how the industry's going to change from all this, right? Mm-hmm. I think what we're already seeing, and I've seen Cody talk about this a few times, how he's like, it used to be there was one top guy, and then there were two, and no one in the back could figure out what do you do with that?
Yeah.
The perception of a top guy traditionally for so long has been who has the world title. That's it. Who's got the WWE title? That's the top guy, right? That's dead. And WWE wants you to realize that's dead.
Yeah.
Now there's just this roster with a few tiers. You've got a 3-tier system. You've got the new, young, hungry people that have never won a title, and they're just happy to be there, and they're having matches, and they're like coming from NXT, and they're trying to figure out where they fit and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Then you've got your people who are starting to find their characters, but they haven't really hit a top tier yet. You know what I mean? That's your people like Lyra Valkyria. Mm-hmm. She's got the IC belt and this feud with Becky.
It's a stock rising.
Yeah. It's like when LA Knight first started to pop off. They're like, well, now we got to actually start using him regularly and see if he's as good as he says he is, you know?
Yeah.
And then eventually you get to a point where you're genuinely main eventing pay-per-views and shit, and that's when you're in the top tier. Yeah. That top tier is not 1 or 2 guys anymore. It's fucking 20.
The way I look at it too is that
they're all selling merch.
The world title is at its own level, and then there is a level above the world title.
I think so.
I think that's where
that's your 4th tier.
Yeah.
And that is reserved for your John Cena's, your Randy Ortons and shit like that.
Rollins,
Reigns,
CM
Punk. Yep. I would argue Cody
just big draw
there
guys.
Now because he's like the centerpiece.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still. I think he's still in that picture, though. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
He'll come back to the picture, is what I'm saying.
But yes, you've got your top guys are like your Drew McIntyres, your LA Knight, your even like a Jacob Fatu is up there now. He's super over. Damian Priest. And you know, there's more. There's more than that. Gunther. Sami Zayn, you know what I mean? These
Braun
are all
Breaker.
guys. Braun Breaker's in that class now with being with Heyman. That is the move. That just elevated him right there. You know what I
Instantly,
mean?
yeah.
Instantly. And then the fourth tier is your certified Hall of Famer legends.
Right.
That
Where they don't
retire
need,
tomorrow, they go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and you don't need gold involved.
Never need a belt ever again.
Yeah, I think it's just a different level there.
Yeah,
and that's great. Now it's like the question is, does that like devalue the titles? No, I don't think
so.
it does.
I don't think so. I think that it just changes what actually matters. If you're a top guy, it's not about are you currently holding or chasing the world title in storyline. It's more about what level of performance are you having? How over are you? Where do you routinely hang out on the card? Is it in the upper half or the lower half?
Well, here's the thing, right?
What's your merch sales? You know what I mean? How over are you?
If you can be a draw without the world title being in the picture, why put the world title in the picture?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
AJ Styles is a great example of a fourth tier guy. He's retires tomorrow, and they do a special Hall of Fame to make sure he's in there the night after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just destined, certified, guaranteed Hall of Famer immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't need a belt ever again.
Right. So that title can elevate you to that level. So I think a lot
of those guys will work with tier 3 guys or even tier 2 guys.
Sure.
To help get those guys to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's genius. And I mean, there are always stakes. Like with Paul Heyman being in the mix, dude, he's just been great. He's been great lately.
Who's better, dude? The promo he cut on.
He was on McAfee's show and he went off.
He's too good, dude. No, he came out on this past Raw, I believe, and had a segment with Jay Uso, and it was so incredible.
Oh yeah,
it was just his promo he's just unbelievable. He's unbelievable on the mic, and Jay, to his credit, has been so much better since winning the title. Yeah, he's had his best stuff since he's won the title. I feel like it completely changed him. He's figuring it out big time. He's super over with the crowd. He's way more comfortable on the mic. He was already pretty comfortable on the mic, but
I think that's part of it is being. I think it was a little overwhelming how fast it happened for him.
It did. You could tell, and it rattled him a little bit.
Yeah,
but like
like he has a firm grasp on his character. He understands what's going on here, but also I think he needs to relax. Like, drop his shoulders a little bit.
I see him doing that now.
Right.
Like that last segment with Heyman, he seemed like he was much
just
more
needs to
relaxed.
be a little more loose.
Yeah. And he's figuring out he needs to just be himself.
Yeah.
But turned up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I know there's a lot of shit about people don't like him or whatever, but it's not real, right?
No.
Like you listen to the shows and you hear the crowd reactions, you're like,
oh, he's
what are we talking about?
Though, actually,
yeah. It's this whole factor of you don't get on the internet to talk about something you loved most of the time.
No,
you usually
most
go on there
only
to
go
bitch,
on there to bitch, yeah.
And that's what you get on these like internet boards and even like journalism like this. It's like sometimes Wrestling Observer or whatever. It's like,
well, the Observer is the most joke fucking fake journalism you're ever gonna find.
It's just unbelievable, dude.
It's mind-boggling that anybody that considers themselves a wrestling fan even pays attention to what Dave Meltzer has to say.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
I
don't understand.
He's by far the most how and why guy in the entire, even even surrounding industries that are like
I know, yeah.
hang on or are like
Well, he
attached industries.
He shows such a clear bias half the time too. And
I mean, he
like,
literally, I'm pretty sure
he has to be getting paid by.
I'm pretty sure he has stock. Like they confirmed he has stock in
like
AEW.
stock.
Like he literally is a minority owner.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything Will Ospreay's in, he's
Obviously,
like, it's 5.5
I don't
stars.
have a source. I saw that online. Who the fuck knows if it's real?
Ospreay,
But I'm pretty sure I saw a legit thing about that.
Ospreay was like, I could go. He's like, I'm probably the best in the ring, better than anybody in the industry. And it's like, maybe he's up there, but
he's
like
pretty good in the ring.
But like, there's a lot of fucking talent in
Now
the wrestling
tell a story.
industry. Yeah, and learn to do that. You know.
Yep. Now tell a story that isn't in ring work only.
Yeah, like it's like one hand you're like, I appreciate that the way he can, the how athletic the guy is.
Yeah. Look at Ricochet.
Yeah,
I love Ricochet in the ring. He was not connecting with the audience. Period.
No, he wasn't.
He was starting to figure it out. I feel like honestly, Ricochet, is really trying in AEW, and I love to see it.
Oh, he's in character all the time.
Yeah, I really like what he's doing in AEW character-wise, like what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
He's really trying to go, oh, I'll show them,
right.
you know, and good on him. I don't know.
I guess that's the only thing you can do, right?
What else can you do? Yeah. What else can you do? You either go, finally, I'm in AEW. Now I never have to worry about being a character again because all anybody wants to see me do here is choreographed acrobatics and shit, you know, which is what they say online. He's better than that. He's just so much better than that. And I want to see him succeed. But to be fair,
like Ospreay could probably do this, you know, like,
yeah,
it's just you haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it because AEW doesn't have a product that generally goes there. Meanwhile, their absolute best story, period, is Toni Storm walking out to the ring. That's the best story. The second she's on camera, she's the most compelling thing they have in the whole company, and she's not main eventing every single pay-per-view. It's so ass backwards to what actually would be intelligent business.
They're very and we
gotta have a dream match with no story though.
That's part of it is like they love the ex WWE talent. So Moxley's big and Mercedes Moné's big.
I can't even get into how bad Moxley's been.
And that just sucks.
Like it hurts.
And I understand why they do that. That makes a lot of sense because they've already got a huge reputation. Why wouldn't you push your big stars?
It's just the opposite of what they said they were going to do when they started the entire company in the first place.
Yeah, it's like
they've become everything they talk shit about.
Yeah,
it is definably and provably WCW2. It actually is by tangible metrics you can point to and go, WCW did this, they're doing the exact same thing. WCW did that, they're doing the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wonder
they're
how long
not doing everything.
How long does it last that way, though, going that way?
I don't know.
And it's not like I
don't really care.
It's not like they're doing bad, you know?
No,
it's like
they're still doing okay.
They're
still around.
And they have a dedicated fan base.
They do, but it gets smaller and smaller. And it's like, how small does it get to where everybody involved goes, we're done doing this, you know?
Yeah, what is the point where fans say...
I think Cody leaving years ago, I think that was the end.
That hurt.
Because he had the vision, but everybody else went, our vision is indies on a WWE size stage. And he went, that will never take place. Good luck. And look what it is now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I love Kenny Omega. I like watching
He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I mean, it's not to say they're not doing some things right, you know?
Omega's a guy who has aura to me. Like, you see him and you go, he is first ballot Hall of Fame level legend. He's a tier 4 guy in a company that has almost none.
Yeah, I feel like there's guys that don't even have to say anything. That
No,
just
he doesn't have to say shit. Kenny can literally come out to his theme song, say nothing, wrestle matches. He's who everybody else dreams of being because he earned it.
And it's easy for him.
He proved
now.
it.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever have to do anything ever again other than go out and have a lazy ass match will be the best match on the card.
Right.
Like he is literally a wrestling god.
Yeah.
I can't suck a stick off anymore than that.
Seriously,
like, I love Omega.
He is,
and I want him to have 1 second in WWE before he retires, just so that he can go into the Hall of Fame where he belongs. And the only reason I feel that way is because there's no independent Hall of Fame body recognized as the definitive top Hall of Fame of wrestling. WWE
there needs to be
is the Hall of Fame
there
that
needs
matters
to be a
most.
Pro Wrestling Hall of
There
Fame.
needs to be a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame that gets the same exposure and treatment that WWE's does, and that so doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. 0 people give a rat's ass about it. WWE's is literally like televised.
The only
it's
one
like an
that's-
event where the big names are out for it and shit. It's like an award ceremony,
yeah, it's
borderline.
just like the NFL Hall of Fame
That's right.
ceremonies or whatever.
We need one of those that's non-WWE that WWE guys go into that is independent of one company.
Similarly, anything, TNA or whoever.
Yeah. And the reason I want that is so that guys that aren't in WWE that have a legacy that belongs
Well, yeah,
in
you shouldn't even have to justify
the
why.
biggest of Hall of Fames.
Yeah.
Just are going to get to have that. Because Kenny, he is as deserving of the Hall of Fame as anybody else working right now.
Yeah. No, I 100%.
And he's never been in the company.
And yeah, you could put him in any storyline you wanted if you got a hold of him.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're paying him at AEW.
Find something he can't do at the highest level.
He's got to be making a lot of money over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You think?
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what his contract is.
I would be very curious to know what him and the Young Bucks are making as like part.
Oh
I think they
God, the Young
legit
Bucks.
have they were given stock because they were Tony's most cherished toys who he rounded up to start the whole thing with. So Cody.
I wonder if
the
they're allowed to
Bucks,
do that. Because then it
Jericho.
becomes insider trading in a way. If
Oh,
you have
I guess
stock
so.
and you can sell it and say, hey, this company's going under because we saw something backstage that happened, and you know what I mean?
It's dicey. But I think when you work in a company, you can definitely have stock in the company.
I don't think you can
literally
sell
work
it
at
until
what
you...
is called an ESOP, which is an employee-owned company.
Yeah.
Like everybody that works at the company has stock in the company.
Maybe you just can't sell until you leave the company or something.
Yeah, I have no idea, but
that's just kind of a sketchy area there.
I'm sure their deals are the craziest deals in the entire company, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, the Bucks are definitely a huge. They have pieces of the company for sure.
There's no way they don't. And obviously, we don't know. We're speculating, but there's just no way they don't. You know.
I'm sure some of that info's out, but you never know. You read the shit online. It's like that.
You
Even
never
fucking NHL player contracts. You don't know what they're.
You don't know what's
really making.
You see it
with
online.
incentives.
And there's a report, and we just have no idea. Yeah.
They have sponsors and all kinds of other shit.
Yep.
That they're getting. But I don't know how it works in pro wrestling.
I know there's a lot of talent in WWE that's making over $10 million a year.
Yeah.
There's 10 guys that are making over $10 million a year there. I know Rollins is. I know Rhea Ripley is. I know
the product
Roman
is bringing in money. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
it's because of what they generate.
So when you can generate money, you can pay guys a lot. But when you don't generate as much money and you pay guys a lot, duh. It's called a bad formula for duh.
And that's what AEW is doing. Their talent contracts are rumored to be over $100 million a year. Total. What?
You're paying like a Shohei Ohtani amount of money.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, come on. At a certain point, you will be doing that. Because what's Ohtani making? 300 million or some shit?
A year?
Three something million? A year.
Yeah. Yeah, he signed $1 billion contract, didn't he?
Some shit like that.
Something wicked fucked up. And he did it the smartest way possible, and he took it all on back end. So that he's only getting like a small amount of it every year right now.
Eventually
eventually he's going to be making $350 million a year or whatever at the end. Yeah.
That's smart way to do that for sure.
It is, yeah. And he's locked in.
And those, who knows? Like those contracts, the inflation of all these sports, it always happens.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen with wrestling. It just is.
It's too popular and generates too much money.
Yeah.
Having said that, it also is such a high cost thing.
Production,
yeah. The travel and they have so many people that go with them.
Oh yeah.
Just so much involved. It's such a different level production, dude. Everybody
just
that
the
sees it
venues
goes, what the fuck?
Have to cost a lot of money. Just the venue itself.
Just renting an arena is a couple $100,000 or some shit.
Well, plus you're renting it for not just one night. You're renting it for almost a week because usually
they have them all done years in advance.
You have to set it all up, like your whole stage and all this shit. All of it has to be set up, dude. That has to be a nightmare to do that every.
Can't even imagine.
But eventually, it's like the job. You just do it instantly.
Yeah. Oh, people get conditioned to it, and they're like, "Yeah, this is what I do."
Yeah, that would be a cool job.
The money's good.
It's got to be good. I mean, you're never home probably.
No,
you're constantly.
It's different now though. A lot of guys are home every week. They have like a couple days home every week.
As a production guy, you're probably. I mean, as a production dude, setting up a stage, and your sound and all that shit, you got to be there ahead of time.
Yeah,
you're days ahead of time.
They're probably. I don't know. I don't
probably
know
working 3 or 4 days straight, and then
traveling, and then
and all your traveling too. So
they probably
have separate teams for Raw and SmackDown and things like that.
If I had to guess, I would say they probably get
and they probably have vacation days,
something midweek off or something, because they're doing SmackDown on Fridays. They have pay-per-views on the weekends usually. NXT is Tuesday or Wednesday.
I think they probably have multiple teams, but that's all speculation.
NXT's Tuesday, and then Raw's Monday.
Yeah,
so they probably have Thursday and Friday off to go home or something, and then they're back.
It's a lot of travel, dude. I would not want to do that.
Oh, it's brutal.
Lyra and Becky is a good feud, dude.
Love it.
That's really cool.
We were talking about elevating, right? Mm-hmm. Becky has reached a point where she never needs a title again. Same with Charlotte.
Right.
Never need a title again, and can just help everybody else get there by feuding with them and putting them over.
You're also we're seeing Lyra come out of her shell a lot.
Yeah, I had been saying, and maybe not on here, but maybe it's just been in my head, I guess. But even still, I may have said it on the show, but that I think that Lyra just needs that feud to elevate her, where she can show more depth to her character instead of just being, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, she does need that. I think you did
this
say that.
Instantly started that. Becky and her feuding, literally perfect.
Yeah.
And the promo she cut on Becky was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. It was awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It felt like she was a lot more comfortable with where she's at.
Yep.
Sometimes I think giving them the belt does do that for you.
It does. I think it's working for Jay. I think it was huge for Damian Priest. Completely changed his career.
Yeah. It's almost like saying hey, you just need this little push to get you over to that.
And to see to feel what it actually takes.
Yeah,
and experience other people working with you
Damian
at
Priest
that level.
is a great example of that.
His evolution over the past 2 years has been so insane. Mm-hmm. Like when he headlined Backlash with Bad Bunny, that was the switch. That was when it clicked. You saw his promos get way more real and just who he really is, which made them get 500% better. Yeah. He was like a Roman Reigns, where prior they would hand him a script and he would bumble all his words, and he was the weakest link in the Judgment Day.
I think it's a big thing is they're showing confidence in you. And I think that is what is driving.
Gives him the confidence. Yeah. Damian Priest is a certified top guy now, where he will likely win the belt again at some point.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't, he had a title run, and he's just in the mix in stories that are gonna get time, selling merch, making good money, feuding with other top guys like McIntyre and fucking Punk and shit like that.
I could see him winning it again. But like
Me
I said,
too.
there's just so much goddamn talent, and all these. A
It's
lot of
so
people
stacked.
deserve the title. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yep.
which is great because now you don't know if the title's going to change
Yep.
hands. You
Yep.
had, and I hope they do more. And we've always wanted this, but more weekly title matches.
Yeah.
On the
Dude, they
big
just
shows.
had a world title match on Raw.
Yeah, that was great too. And it's like there's a lot of doubt when you see a weekly show title match. You're like, it's probably not going to change hands. But then when it does, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect it.
Dude, that tag title match again to come full circle.
Yeah.
The fucking TLC,
That TLC
match on
was
SmackDown.
just phenomenal. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The Street
dude.
Profits showed. They decided to show. They said, "Hey, we are still here, guys. Like
Yep.
we've
You're
been good
just
this whole
moving
time."
on. You're just gonna tell us that DIY and the fucking Motor City Machine Guns are the tag team? Funny.
Yeah, they were all so good.
Obviously, those teams are incredible. But...
Yeah, they were all good. Fraxium being on TV is great.
Yeah.
Dude, they're just so good, man. And I'm happy they're on the main roster now.
Fraxium? Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be huge.
Oh, they're yeah. I mean, it's not even gonna be.
No,
it's not even a debate.
no, it's not even a question.
They are so fast and they're so
good.
They're connected, dude.
Yeah,
Those two
they
are
might
connected.
as well be having a psychic conversation the whole time.
I don't understand how they're
No,
so connected like that. But Motor City Machine Guns is a lot
same
like
deal.
that,
Yeah,
you know?
and it's just
They're
they say
meant
it all
to
the
be a
time.
tag team.
We were destined since birth to be a tag team
Yeah.
somehow, and we can just look at each other and go, "We just communicated the whole match, and we already know what we're gonna do."
I think one of the big ways they can build this tag division is by leaving the teams together.
Yeah,
Because what happens is people start to love the tag team.
and then they go, "Break them up quick."
Yeah,
I
and
hate that.
And then they say, "Well, we have to have some kind of turmoil so that they're both going on their
You
separate
don't need
ways."
it.
No, you
The
don't
tag
need to
team
do that.
division is totally different. You can have that constantly just be
Yeah.
guys having crazy matches chasing the belts.
It's like if
trying to prove
Gargano gets
themselves.
over, it's like you don't just break him off.
No,
Leave him as a tag team.
leave them as a tag team and let them still chase gold.
Yeah,
Who
it doesn't-
cares?
Yeah, like you want them to be over.
It's like
but-
New Day was a great example. They didn't split them up, and now those guys never have to win anything ever again.
Sure,
And they're all Hall
sure.
of Famers.
Yep.
And it's because they would chase belts, singles belts, while staying together.
And I like that they kind of teased them breaking up,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "No,
And they went, fuck that.
nope." Yeah, that's the way to elevate the tag.
And then they
division.
just shit on Biggie.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Biggie. I wish he would come back, but it's all good. I'm glad that he's not in a fucking wheelchair.
Yeah, for sure, dude. that
And he
was-
still works for the company and is an ambassador for him and stuff. He's getting married. I just saw that announced that he's getting
That
married
was a scary injury.
to Meechin, her sister. I think he's
Oh, really?
engaged to her sister. Yeah, that's a very scary injury. Yeah,
it
could
was
have paralyzed him
not
for
good.
life. Good thing he has an absolutely gigantic fucking 50-gallon drum for a neck and
Mhm.
shoulders.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he was okay a little bit, but yeah, he's absolutely jacked, dude.
Yeah, he's
Freak
fucking-
of nature jacked. And
Yeah, but
so hilarious.
This is just. I think you just got to stick with tag teams, man.
Yeah.
You just have to stick with them.
Yep.
Let them ride their fucking wave. Let it happen.
Absolutely.
Don't get too. There are times where you can break guys up, but look
Sure.
at the Hardys. Like they were pretty much always a tag team.
Yep.
There was a segment where they broke off, but like
Sure.
Sure. Once you've built them as a huge tag team, maybe then you can break them off. But let these guys develop for a little while.
Yeah.
You don't need to just
For sure.
immediately rush breaking these teams off.
No,
I think it kills the tag team division off.
it does.
It just
Because
doesn't make it as...
it teaches the viewer that tag teams don't matter and that they can just bank on their favorite tag team breaking up, and so why get invested?
Yeah, and then it's almost like you're waiting for them to break off.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
don't do that. Just approach it like a tag team.
Exactly.
It's just so weird to me. I just never understood that approach, to be honest with you.
Mm-mm.
Rusev, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool seeing him back.
Yep.
With fucking
And dude, he came back and he had the match with Otis. And cut a promo on him walking through the halls, and I was like, whoa, he's a whole different character.
Yeah, he is.
He's a whole different character. He's gonna be good, dude. He can talk. He can do the character work and stuff, but I love that this version of Rusev is going to be more just Miro, but they're just going to call him Rusev.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Perfect.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it's just going to be him turned up.
Yeah,
you know,
Rusev,
turn the
like
knob
his
up.
old gimmick basically was
He never talked.
wouldn't
and
talk.
He was just with
you just had Lana.
Yeah, which she was awesome.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I wouldn't even have been mad if she came back. But
Me neither. Yeah. And don't have her do a Russian accent for no reason. Who cares?
You don't have to.
We know she's not Russian.
Right.
She did a good one, and she
good,
was
though.
great. Well, she was great when she was doing the Russian thing. I'd like to see it again, but she could be that same character and just not do the accent.
Sure.
You know, it don't matter.
Yeah. It's cool. I like seeing Otis in like these, you know,
Yeah,
bigger
he's
picture
over, bro.
situations.
He's
yeah.
over. He was getting big cheers and stuff too.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. And I like that Rusev's whole thing he said to him was, "You're a fucking monster, brother.
Yeah.
You don't need to be
I
doing
also
this
love
joke
that,
shit."
Tozawa was like ballsing up and squaring up with him.
Good. Yeah.
Tozawa, dude.
Show those dudes be nasty. You know what I mean? They are nasty.
Shoehorn them into the tag division.
Yup.
Why not?
Tozawa is crazy underrated. Crazy underrated.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's, dude, it was so funny. He was like fucking bowed up. Like he's going to take Rusev.
I love that. But he's so good, though.
It's like a Krillin situation.
It is. Yeah. Yes. Yep. He knows he can't, but he doesn't care, and he's not afraid. He's gonna
you're just being
defend his
ballsy.
guy.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that.
And then we have Gunther and Pat McAfee. That's going to be a backlash.
See, I don't hate that. I've seen it get a lot of hate online. I'm
I
like,
think it's
what?
crazy.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
One, we know Pat is a freak athlete, and we know he can work because he's been in matches before where he was good.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's fine. I like
People just don't.
Michael Cole in the mix of that has been incredible.
Well, that's what it's about. That's
Yeah.
the thing is they're doing a good job.
I love
like
it.
making these storylines about someone else.
Yeah.
You
like,
know what I mean?
love that Gunther, all he did was just get pissed off and flip out on him.
Yeah.
And then
But
he
Pat,
got in Cole's face,
yeah.
and Pat was just, all he was doing is going, that's not going to happen, though. You're former world champ or
You
whatever.
can't do
I
that.
don't care. You're not going to fight the commentators. That's not why we're here. So I am getting in your face about it.
Right.
And then Cole's whole thing going backstage with Pat and being like, what are we supposed to fucking do if we can't even do our jobs because we're not even like, because they're trying to fight us now? Okay. And then he's like, take the night off. And he's like, no, hell no. Not
Yeah.
let some bully stop me from doing my job. Fuck this. I loved that.
It's a
and I
good-
like that stuff matters. That's why it's not shitty that fucking Gunther's feuding with Pat McAfee.
No, yeah.
Because there's a very good story build up to it that makes it matter.
And you can't, and it's like, well, McAfee can't win, right? It's like,
It doesn't even matter if he wins.
it's like,
You know?
no, it doesn't. It's
It doesn't.
about Michael Cole, you know?
It's just him going, I'm gonna step up
Mhm.
because you're not gonna just be shitty to the commentators and not get your ass whipped. Pin
Right.
me. I don't need a win. I'm not a wrestler.
Well,
But I am fighting you. though.
McAfee's going to get his ass whipped. Dude,
Yeah,
he's gonna
for
get,
sure.
He's
I
gonna
guarantee you he does some shit that's memorable in the match, though.
Yeah.
Like a fucking elbow drop off the top rope through a table to the outside or some
Mhm.
shit.
Some
you know what
crazy
I mean?
shit, right.
Something sick.
Some
he can.
Shane McMahon type
Some
shit.
shit. Yes. Yep.
That's just the same
He's
style.
gonna do some legend building stuff.
Yeah.
Period.
But he's going to have a red fucking chest at the end of the match.
Oh, he's gonna get his ass beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's not the point.
You can't
and,
really
and
get in the ring with
storyline, it's
Gunther.
perfect too, because he's going, I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah.
Why would I give a fuck if I win? I literally just want to beat the shit out of you. And
Right,
show
right.
you that there is going to be consequences if you fuck with the commentary table. Somebody is going to pay it back if you do that.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. is you do not get to just walk all over the commentary team, and there's no consequences
I
and
think
no
people were
repercussions.
just upset with Gunther's trajectory.
Yeah, because he was the greatest, objectively the greatest Intercontinental
The way
champion
they
of all
built
time at
him
this
up
point.
and-
They
yeah.
built him into a god, and when he lost, it meant so much.
He had the
And
world
then
title.
they felt
and
weird about his world title run.
then, yeah.
But of course they did, because his IC title run was the best run ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the best IC title run of all time.
Yeah, it was great.
So
That's
it's like,
the thing is, he's got the world title, loses to Jay, who like they
Yep.
already aren't a fan of. This like a bunch of people aren't.
the IWC,
You know what I mean?
who
And
cares?
then they see him go down to McAfee, and it's like, what? They're like,
Yeah,
why
it
is this?
just proves they're not watching, and
And
they
they're-
don't get it.
This isn't what. Yeah, it's not really.
That's it. The people that think that, they're usually AEW fans.
You don't have to.
Scream, who cares about story? I just want to see my guys be nasty in the ring only.
Yeah.
Fuck story.
Don't-
and so
don't-
then they just
I think they just
perceive
micro-
that as who cares.
Well, they microanalyze the drops and
Yep.
dips and fucking.
Oh, why isn't he facing Roman Reigns now? He must be going down.
yeah. Why are they burying
That's
him?
that's I'm glad we're having that conversation though, because that ties into what I was talking about with the tiers and how top guys now, you can be a top guy and not be facing Roman Reigns. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
Like Drew McIntyre and Damon Priest, both top guys, both feuding or whatever, right?
Yeah.
No title involved. Doesn't matter. They're still top guys because they're working at that level and they're getting that level of exposure. They're
Yeah.
that over with the fans and they're selling that level of merchandise.
Mhm.
That's the stuff that matters. And they're involved in storyline that's actually fucking cool.
I think a lot of the merch sucks right now. To be honest with
The
you.
merch that
I
people
go
are
on there-
selling.
yeah, I go
Best
on the
merch I've
store.
seen in years. Best merch I've seen in
Really?
years is LA Knight.
Oh yeah. Well,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just the one shirt he had that's like him on the boat.
Yes.
The fucking
was
US
sweet.
title, next level. Instant bought that. Yeah.
I think like I go on that thing.
But
and
he's
I'm
still
like,
fucking up.
I just think a lot of their shop items. I want some more minimalist stuff. Like it's
I've
a
been
lot of it's
screaming for
crazy.
years. They won't do it. And it's
just a-
so stupid.
Yeah.
They need the
t-shirt.
shirt that just white block letters says yeah. No
Mhm.
exclamation mark. No other bullshit. Just yeah. And then on the back, on the collar, like my LA
Have
Knight
the
shirt
LA.
right here has his logo on the back, like on
Yeah.
your, like in between your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
It's perfect. Do that on the front. It just says yeah. That shirt will sell. It'll be the number one selling
buy it
shirt of all.
instantly.
Yep. And I'd have 10 of them.
Yeah.
Everybody I know would buy that shirt, even if they're not into wrestling, because it's just a black shirt with giant black letters. Just says yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is, you can't beat that.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That is the same as like
But
it's one
Austin
of the
did it.
reasons Austin 316 worked.
Yeah. It was straight to
But-
the point.
It was straight to the point, but it was his gimmick. And
Mhm.
it still was Austin 316. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the minimalist design. Like,
There's only one guy who can get away with that shirt right now, and it's literally him. It's LA Knight.
Yeah.
With just yeah.
I think a lot of wrestling tees get too crazy.
Complicated?
Yeah, like
Too
even
much
this one,
artwork?
like this is in between, right?
That's not bad.
Like it's not crazy.
doesn't bother me.
It doesn't look like a racing shirt. Like you know how racing t-shirts
Some
are
of
like
them get too crazy. Yep. Like, for example,
like a racing hoodie. It's
Stace,
like
my wife, Stace, she just bought an Asuka shirt, and it's really cool. It's
Yeah,
like the mask that she comes out with or whatever
Mhm.
has that on there. It just says Asuka. It's nothing wicked crazy.
right. That's
It's a
what I
good
want.
shirt.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I don't need like
Um,
a bunch of slogans and like.
I don't need 5 slogans on it.
Yeah.
One of the best shirts ever
It's like
is
I
a
want.
shirt that Stace also has that our buddy Zach bought for her. That's Braun Strowman's shirt, and it just says one big SOB.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's
cool.
perfect. And my 4'11" wife has it. It says one big SOB. It's God tier, dude.
Yeah,
But I
want,
love that
like,
shit.
I just want like a the game shirt or something.
Yeah.
but it's always like King of Kings, and it has him like in 3 different poses, like on
And
the
a bunch
turnbuckle,
of
and it's
shit
like,
on it.
why do
It's
you
like,
have so
stop.
much? You're doing
Can
too
it
much.
just say the game?
Yeah, that's just a
in
personal
cool
preference.
letters? Yeah,
thing,
but
I
that's
guess,
a personal preference. Yeah, of course, that's opinion.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
there's cool stuff like Karrion Kross's thing with the
Yep.
puppet
Yeah, that's
hands
it.
and shit. That's kind of cool, but
Yep.
it's still like overly graphic.
But
to
the
me.
thing is, a lot of these people have a ton of merch, and it's because it's all selling.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, it must be. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep it up there.
Yep.
Yeah, That's just my preference every time I go on there. I finally got that Cody Rhodes framed thing, which is really cool.
That's sick.
It's got like a piece of the canvas and shit from the Kevin Owens match.
Hell yeah.
It's got a picture of him on the announce table looking over Kevin Owens, just absolutely annihilated.
That match was crazy. Poor Kevin, man. I hope he
comes back,
soon
man.
And comes back. He's one of the greats. One of the all-time greats for sure.
Yep. Somewhat underappreciated too.
I think that now that he's gone, people are going to start to be like, God damn, that dude was special.
Yeah, his body of work was just...
That's insane. He had a match with Austin at Mania.
Yeah.
Like, who gets to say that?
Right.
How many guys get to say I main evented a WrestleMania
There's a handful of guys.
With Austin. There's a few.
Yeah.
The Rock 3 times.
There's probably 5 guys or so, right?
Who else did he did Austin main event Mania
The
with?
Rock.
The Rock. Did he main event? He didn't main with Triple H, did he?
That's what I was thinking.
WrestleMania 2000 or some shit? No, because his last one was
I was thinking like Mankind or Triple H.
97? Was it 1997 was 14 when he, or is that 98? That was when he main evented with Michaels to win the title. And the Austin era began. Yeah. And then he had 3 with The Rock, which was 17, 19, and 21.
Right. So Shawn Michaels, The Rock. I would think he had one with Mankind, but maybe not.
Or no.
It's hard to remember the main.
Rock was 15, 17, 19. 19 was the last one because 20 was Benoit. 20 was Benoit, Triple H, and Michaels.
Yeah.
18 was Rock, Hogan.
Mm-hmm. There's probably a list of all the main events, but that's another thing I don't like is the 2 main events. It's like...
It doesn't bother me.
It's like, but now it inflates like some of these records. If you're going to stress the record of how many main events they've had, it's like...
They count both nights.
Yeah.
Because they are technically main events.
They are technically main events.
And it would be different if they didn't book Mania so that both nights are treated like a full-blown WrestleMania.
Yeah. But then they throw Roman in 2 main events last year or whatever.
Yep. And deserved because he would be fucking main eventing.
Yeah.
That one was different. That one was different because that one was storyline based. It was all tied together. So that was different. But this year they went a completely different way. And we're like, we just have 2 nights of stacked cards.
Yeah. The thing is I just don't, it sucks that it inflates them. That's all. It just kind of sucks.
It can, for sure. If a guy's doubling up every year. But
because it's he's had this many WrestleMania main events, but like...
You're talking about Roman's 10, his record?
Yeah, it's like...
10? Yeah, but he deserved them. But I agree.
Sure, but
there's one with an asterisk next to it because it was WrestleMania 40 where he did both nights. But they're still both main events?
I guess.
It's no different than how many times did a guy main event Raw? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it happens every week. So main segment might be, you know what I mean?
Mania main events is weird.
It's happened with SummerSlam too, but it's because there's demand for it.
Yeah.
When you're selling 60,000 seater arenas out 2 nights in a row, I think you're doing something right. So,
Sami Zayn has come back into the picture a little bit too.
He's going to be feuding with the new faction with Rollins, it seems. And
that would be great for him.
This new faction.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be good for Zayn. Zayn deserves like that kind of thing.
I would love to see. He has to win the title.
I think so.
And it looks like it's going to go that way.
I really hope he does. His character is like really good.
Yeah.
Because it's not anything over the top. He's just being Sami Zayn.
Yep.
And he's like always the good guy.
Yeah.
Voice of reason kind of guy.
And it works.
And it does work.
He's been so good, dude.
The funny thing about Sami Zayn is he's just always like his character is always injured somehow.
he's just always nagging injuries that he's I love that.
It's like every time you see him, it seems like he's injured. In character, even if he's not injured, it's like he's fucking hurt from something. Because he got taken advantage of so that somebody else could get into a picture or
Yep.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
That's just the way his character goes. But it's great. Like with the Rollins thing, the match, you know, CM Punk comes out and screws Rollins on Raw. I mean, it was great. I would have loved to see Rollins just like fucking take the title and say fuck to everybody.
I know, dude.
But I think eventually he will have it.
I think so. It's
or
inevitable
Braun,
now.
or Braun will have it.
Yeah.
As long as there's gold in that faction, it would be crazy.
It's coming.
Yeah, I think it is coming. I don't know. Other than that, I don't think there's much. You know, like I said, over 2 weeks, usually you have a lot to talk about. I didn't take a lot of notes. I did, but like I was watching a lot of LFG.
We did cover a lot, though.
We did.
We covered releases. We covered major stories going on. We covered
I can't really think
just
of
a
anything
bunch.
else.
Yeah. All good.
SmackDown is tonight. So.
Yep.
Also, the NHL playoffs are tonight. I gotta watch the Stars game.
NBA playoffs are going on right now.
Oh, NBA playoffs. I don't.
And
really
they've been
watch,
incredible.
I don't watch the NBA anymore.
Been a good playoff season so far. But
I fucking love playoff.
that's
hockey.
for a different podcast.
Yep.
That's the other one.
Yeah. Go Stars. I like it, dude. The Jets won a game the other day with like 1.6 seconds left. They brought it to overtime. It was crazy.
That's nasty.
Playoff hockey is awesome. I love playoff hockey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Sorry for the late episode, but it is what it is.
Better that
It's
we
out.
get one
It's gonna
out
be
a
out.
day late or whatever than miss a full 2 week. You know what I mean?
And I don't know. I'm gonna probably go watch SmackDown, I guess, after in a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Cool.
We can
Sounds good to me. Why not?
We didn't have any technical difficulties this week.
Thankfully.
Maybe I fixed my issue.
Let's hope.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You can head over to w.gg and use our promo code.
Yep.
If you want to support the show. And if you don't want to do that, okay, the easiest way to, instead of, you know, spending your own money or whatever you don't want to do, just go down below the video and hit the like button.
Yeah.
Or subscribe.
Yeah. Or at least comment and tell us we're bozos or some shit.
Yeah, like engagement.
Yeah. We don't care.
Apparently hitting the bell even helps your algorithm and stuff like that.
Give it a shot.
But
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hopefully we'll find out.
Some people are annoyed with we don't post like crazy. We only post once every 2 weeks. So it's not like you're going to get a crazy amount of notifications, just new episodes.
Yeah.
So do that on any platform you're on, Spotify, wherever.
Yeah, wherever.
Yeah, support the show. Because we like doing it and we hope you like watching it.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, that's it. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching.
Hell yeah. Peace.